Thanks for staying with us. Now, tomorrow marks the start of Science Week with lots of events happening around the country. And our next guest will be hosting a show that looks at the science and culture of food.
Science broadcaster Jonathan McCrea joins us now with a little flavour of his Science Week show. Good morning to you, Jonathan. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning, guys.
You brought some special friends in with you this morning, which we'll get to in a minute. We're sweating here, the two of us.
Thanks, Jonathan.
No problem.
Our viewers will find out in just a minute. But first of all, Science Week, tell us what we can expect. What's coming up?
Well, Science Week is this fantastic annual event where we celebrate the curiosity of this amazing species that we are. We evolved from primates and we've done so many amazing things with our minds and by collaborating. And so over the next week, you're going to hear about amazing different types of events, from a live podcast with PJ Gallagher and Suzanne Kane called Dublin, which is going to be recorded as a Science Week special on Tuesday. There's planetariums, there's the science of yoga, the science of circus, and it's an opportunity for anyone who is in any way interested in just trying something new or learning something in a different way to go out and find out what's going on. So they can do that by going on to scienceweek.ie and finding out events that are in their area.
So it all kicks off tomorrow, Jonathan, and your show is called Gulp.
Yes.
Which is kind of what we're doing right now because we're so concerned about what you've brought with you. I'll let you take it over from there. What's Gulp?
So Gulp is an exploration of the science of food. It came about from a friend of mine who's a sort of a geek chef at the Dalkey Food Company, Ivan Varian, and himself and myself talked about the science of food and how we perceive taste.
And was this something that fascinated you personally anyway through your work over the years?
When I was a kid, I remember just sort of staying in the wings while my mum prepared these extraordinary meals for 20, 30 people, and she was so creative with food that I've always been interested in food and making food. And so we started talking about these things that I hadn't heard before, and the science of our experience of food is fascinating. And you might have heard of some of the experiments Heston Blumenthal has been doing with his food.
Heston Blumenthal. It's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, so we're bringing in some of those ideas and some of that science, but also trying brand new things. So we've built devices, we've done filming, we're really pushing the envelope in terms of the experience of food. And so on Thursday night in the Sugar Club, there will be a night of exploring food in a way that you have never, ever experienced before.
Well, will we explore something now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things, I'll start you off easier, I'll let you enjoy it. So one of the things that affects how you experience food is your genes. So you get half of your genes from your mum and half of your genes from your dad. And we can actually test the presence of a certain type of a gene called an allele in your mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to taste this, Anna. Okay. I'll get you to taste this, Laura. And these are identical
flavors.
What is it? This is phenylthiocarbamide. So it's a chemical that is quite bitter to taste. But you might find that in the population, a quarter of the population don't taste it at all. A quarter taste it really strong, like me. So I put that in my mouth.
What can you taste then? Okay.
So that's really, really bitter for me. And let's hope, because this is totally random, so I don't know what genes you have.
It's tingling,
okay,
so it's weird to taste.
Okay, so you have a slight taste, and what about you?
Nothing, taste of paper.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so it's a perfect science experiment. Science never works out like that, right?
So what does that say?
So that means you have no presence of this gene that makes you feel bitter. That means you have one,
it's getting
most
stronger.
likely.
Try it again, it's getting stronger.
And for me, it seems I have both, so I would be considered a super taster. So on my tongue, I've got way more taste buds that sense bitter than you.
Okay, so when we both taste the same food, you'll taste it in a different way.
My experience of broccoli and Brussels sprouts would be slightly different. And there's nothing wrong with that.
So it's green veg that tastes more bitter.
Bitter compounds, yeah, exactly.
Interesting, okay.
And so we can look at these bitter compounds and sort of play tricks on the mind. So this is something that we only discovered a few years ago, a West African plant extract. It's called miracle berry. And I'd like to pop that in your mouth, Anna, please.
So
and roll it around. It's perfectly safe. It's a food product.
So it's tried and tested?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's a West African food plant that causes your bitter... So roll it around your mouth. Causes bitter compounds to taste really, really sweet. So ordinarily, Laura, can you demonstrate by control, please? Take a bite of that lemon.
Okay, well, obviously the lemon is going to be extremely
okay, so let's have a look.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really... Okay, yeah, so you can see that reaction. Now, Anna, when you taste this, if you've rolled it around properly, that should taste sweet to you. And so what's going on in your mouth is there's a signalling frenzy from your sweet receptors.
I want to see your face.
And that should taste, maybe there might be a little bit of bitterness because you haven't got it all the way around, but that should taste kind of sweet like a lemonade.
The way you would be.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Not quite sweet, but nowhere near the bitterness that Laura would.
It's quite pleasant to eat a lemon. All right.
It kind of masks the bitterness in a way, doesn't it?
Well, let's take this up a notch, right, and see how you feel about this. So, This is an umeboshi
Do we
plum.
have a junk space?
Laura.
Yeah.
So actually, take that with your hand.
What? No,
Ross.
what
Take it
what
with
is
your
this?
hand. It's an umeboshi plum. Just take it with your hand, actually, because I only have one
Okay,
spoon.
yeah.
And now, if you put that in your mouth, you'll taste it. It's one of the most sour foods available to man. Sorry, you're the control here, but there you go. Oh, yeah, okay, so spit that straight up. Because that's disgusting. Now, if our miracle berry is kicked in, you'll be able to taste it. It'll taste tart, but it won't have the same reaction.
Same effect, okay.
So this is because the chemistry in your mouth has sort of changed. So it's amazing that you can do that, right? Because the difference in taste is completely different. It's not pleasant, probably.
No.
What is it? Okay. Oh, it's absolutely.
But you could
But it's
swallow.
more bearable,
So,
obviously.
yeah. So this is the amazing thing about some of the science of our food, that actually how our receptors behave and send signals to our brain, and our genetics can affect our food. And the other thing that we're going to be exploring is sustainability and the way we're making food at the moment now. So,
Sure.
In 2050, we're going to have 9 billion people on the planet. That means we have to make almost 40 to 50%
Are we going to
more
have
food.
lots of new foods in the future, Jonathan, based on
Substitutes.
science?
Well, so we need
And
protein.
could this be one of them?
Well, we need protein, right? But at the moment, we use 70% of agricultural land. It's devoted to raising livestock. And that's just not sustainable when we talk about 9 billion people on our planet, which means
Sure.
we have to find new sources of protein. And a great source of protein is insects and arachnids. So if you take an insect and...
You knew where this was going, didn't you?
You look at how much protein you get from insects, you would get probably 250 per kilo grams for beef and 200 from an insect. So it's a really good source of protein.
Not selling it to us.
And 2 kilograms of feed gives you 1 kilogram of insect meat versus 8 kilograms for beef.
Still no.
What is it, Jonathan?
So we have on these shows, I'm sure you see lots of things, and unfortunately they're dried, which means you don't get the full experience of the food. Whereas we have luckily sourced from Costa Rica these arachnids in brine. So this is a zebra tarantula. Come back. This is a zebra tarantula, right? Come on.
Is this, sorry, the
empty.
tin at the front, Jonathan, is that
Yeah.
where this tarantula has come from?
So this is a Costa Rican for human consumption.
It's dead.
Knee-striped
It is dead,
tarantula.
right?
It is dead, yeah, it is dead. And
For sure.
It is delicious. And I promise you that you will really enjoy
How,
this.
is this the way you would eat it? With
So which one do you
nachos
want?
and salsa?
I love the way
Which
you
one do you
dressed it
want?
up with nachos. Like,
Well, no,
I don't
it's-
mind this
Like that's going to make it more
It's,
appetising.
it's a South American, Central American sort of food. I don't want to make it local. This is a fantastic
That
sauce
is
you can buy.
terrifying. Jonathan, that is actually terrifying.
Well, do you want now? So I'm going to give you a choice, Laura, because I know you're a bit more nervous. Do you want this one or do you want that one?
Well, what's in that one?
Well, it's another one. You're both going to try. Which one do you want? Do you want that one? Or do you want that one?
Well, either is a
Go on,
disaster.
give us a look, give us a
Okay, the
look,
one
give
that's
us a look,
covered.
The one that's covered. Okay, excellent choice. Excellent choice. Okay, so, now, we have a sort of a social contract on TV, I'm sure you're aware, that when you bring food into a kitchen, you have to try it. It's an insult to the chef, right? So, we like just a small bite. Now, I'm telling you, I'm just going to dress it up with a little bit of lime. My hands are clean, I promise.
Jonathan, there is no way that's going into my mouth.
Well, you see, there's no point in you... Like, we're here now. Otherwise, the bit won't work.
Sorry,
Isn't that how it
are
works?
these
That's how it
sold
works.
for consumption? Can I
it's
just
for
ask
you.
in
Yeah,
terms of
absolutely.
health and
Where's the
safety?
See, it's sold for humans' consumption. It's a perfect...
And where would you buy this now, Jonathan?
So you can source them from Costa Rica directly, so that they're not dried. Or
So
you can get them...
who's eating this dish?
So we'll bring
typically?
people. You'll be surprised. On the night, right, in Gulp, we've served lamb's brains fried up. We've served tarantula
No,
scorpions.
but where is it
People will eat
traditional
them.
to eat this dish?
So Costa Rica. So
Costa
the
Rica,
thing
okay.
is, 1/3 of the planet eats insects already. We are actually the outliers in the Western world that we don't eat, well, consciously, because it's in, beetle backs are in the colouring of foods, but we don't eat consciously the insects around us.
Could
And
you,
actually,
could you at least chop like something
I think
off
it's better.
it
What do
rather
you
than?
think? Should we chop it? I think.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
haven't
think
got a
that's kind
knife.
of fair,
I haven't
isn't
got a
it?
knife. Have we got a knife?
Well, you even use the spoon. There's a
Just
spoon here.
just have a bite off.
Well, that's really tricky now, Jonathan. That's a big ask.
The crunches.
No,
That's
the crunch is no.
absolutely disgusting.
Can I tell you, the crunch is just.
No,
Crunch meat flavour.
Have you eaten this, by the way?
Good woman,
You
Adam.
Of course, are you kidding me? We have to test
That's a
everything.
lot. That's
There
a
you go.
lot on
Just
the
yeah, but you
nacho
don't have to
now.
eat it all. Laura, come on.
no, Jonathan, no. Sorry, but absolutely no way. I couldn't.
It's just, it's hairy. It's hairy.
No, but just.
Is it
I'm
moving?
telling you, you're going to find it delicious like bacon.
I don't know because my hand is rattling.
It's a movie.
You can do it, Anna.
I'm going to do
Anna,
that.
this is true broadcasting.
No,
This is true
no.
broadcasting.
Oh,
There you go.
God,
In your
the
mouth.
legs in her
There we
mouth.
go. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Ladies
well
and
done.
gentlemen, come on. That's pretty good.
Can I renegotiate my contract on Monday morning, please?
That is actually...
So the weird thing is
terrifying.
that's
Well
not
done.
the most unpleasant thing that volunteers are going to do on the Gulp. So it's on Thursday night in the Sugar Club. I promise you what you're going to get to see people
Laura
to
will be the
do
first
and what you're
there.
going to experience is going to be a really interesting night. You don't have to eat. You can just watch for the
just
schadenfreude
watch.
of it all.
We need
Oh,
to
that's
lie
so
down
nice.
after this.
And
Thank
then
you
go
so
and
much,
enjoy
Jonathan.
Science Week. ScienceWeek.ie.
I hope
is
you
the
brought
website.
mouthwash for this poor girl here. You are my hero, Anna. Thank you.
Well done.
Can we please cover all of this up? We'll take a break.
Thank
See you in
you,
a few.
Jonathan.
No problem.
Thank you.